At the very outset, I welcome you all to the land of the Mahatma, the greatest ever bridge between India and Africa, in a venue and a city named after him. We are indeed privileged and honored to host the 52nd annual meeting of the African Development Bank. Leaders in this room today represent the voice and aspirations of 1/3 of humanity. I'm sure that this event will build on the success of the third summit of the India-Africa Forum held in 2015 and will further cement the relationship between India and the countries of the African continent. We meet here at rather uncertain and challenging time. On the one hand, after a prolonged period of slow growth, the world economy is finally on the mend. Global growth is projected to rise from 3.1% in 2016 to 3.5% in 2017 and 3.6% in 2018. The economic activities are finally picking up with a long-awaited cyclical recovery in the investment, manufacturing, and trade. On the other hand, there is an increasing possibility of disruption in the global economy due to the inward-looking policies of some advanced countries. This has a danger of fritting away much of the gains from globalization. Having recently attended the spring meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C., I have come back with a mixed feeling. Throughout this challenging time, India has remained a bright spot amongst the major economies. As per the IMF's assessment in January 2017, India is expected to grow at 7.2% and 7.7% in 2017 and 18, respectively. We have successfully implemented a slew of reform measures, including one of the largest currency reform initiatives ever implemented, which will move the Indian economy to a less cash trajectory, increase tax compliance, and reduce the threats of counterfeit currency. Other major initiatives include reforms in the budget process, passage of the landmark Goods and Services Tax Bill, enactment of the Comprehensive Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, liberalization of the FDI policy, initiatives, and various facilitation measures to improve the attractiveness and competitiveness of India globally. Africa has been doing well recently on the economic frontier. I stand here with the conviction that the 21st century will not only be Asia's century alone, it will belong equally to both Asia and Africa. The African continent is transforming rapidly. Amidst tough global scenario, African economies have grown by 2.2% in 2016 and are expected to grow by 3.4% in the current year. The middle class in Africa is expanding, and so is urbanization. The African cities become vibrant places to live in. Aspirations and spending ability of the population are also increasing. This will open up new opportunities. Africa is approaching an exciting time. India and Africa should navigate through this journey together and shape their common future. India's development partnership is based on the principles of South-South cooperation and voluntary partnership. It is demand-driven and devoid of any conditionalities. We leave it to our partners to decide their priorities. These are very cornerstones of our policy, and we believe that this is the most enduring model of taking a partnership forward. Our increasing commitment to Africa is reflected in the continued high-level political engagement between the including the three India-Africa Forum summits, last of which was held in 2015. It is no coincidence that our President, Vice President, the Prime Minister together have visited 16 African countries in the recent past. There is not a single country in the African continent that has not been visited by one of my cabinet colleagues, and I am proud of this fact. The concessional line of credit of US $10 billion announced by the Honorable Prime Minister during the third India-Africa Summit builds on a series of cooperations in the areas of agriculture, healthcare, educational exchange, and manufacturing. Our Exim Bank has extended 152 concessional lines of credit amounting to a total of US 7.6 billion in 44 countries. All but 5 LOCs amounting to US $7.51 billion are extended and guaranteed on behalf of the Government of India. Let me now say a few words about our long association with the African Development Bank. India joined the African Development Fund in 1982 and the African Development Bank in 1983. It has been a long and fruitful journey since. India's collaboration with the bank is built around the 3 main pillars: contribution to the general capital increase, contribution to the ADF replenishment, and a bilateral trust fund providing resources to support a highly indebted poor countries and the multilateral debt reduction initiative. India has contributed to all the general capital increases of the bank. For ADF 14th replenishment cycle, India has pledged a US $14.5 million each as grant and bridge loan. It is in this spirit of continued partnership that we are hosting the 52nd annual meeting of the bank, the first of such summits on Asian soil. This summit not only provides an opportunity to governors and other delegates to dwell upon the challenges confronting us, it would also be an opportunity for India and Africa to further deepen our ties. The theme of the annual meeting, Transforming Agriculture for Wealth Creation in Africa, is an apt one. Agriculture is critical to economies of the African nations as also to the Indian economy. Africa is home to 60% of the arable land in the world, which produces only 10% of the global food outputs. This points to a huge potential in agricultural sector that has remained unlocked. India presents a contrasting picture where we have to support 17% of the world population with 2% of the world land mass. But we have met this challenge successfully, and there is a significant scope for an agricultural sector in Africa to benefit from the Indian experience. Also, with the changing global landscape for agriculture and food security, India and Africa can emerge as key partners in this area. Areas of cooperation can include irrigation practices, post-harvest and export infrastructure, farm mechanization for soil health and water management, food processing technologies, pulse production, and meeting pulses security and contract farming. Let me also say a few words about the High Fives agenda of President Adesina. As we have all noted, India and Africa have similar changes. As I go through the bank's High Fives, Light Up and Power Africa, Feed Africa, Industrialize Africa, Integrate Africa, and improve the quality of life of people of Africa, I cannot but feel that these are our agendas. For instance, our flagship Make in India program is no different from Industrialize Africa, or our Power for All and the ambitious push for renewable energy is reminiscent of the Light Up and Power Africa. I am convinced that the potential horizon of India-Africa collaboration is expanding. The India-Africa collaboration sessions are being held at the sidelines and will no doubt translate into many concrete cooperations and partnerships. I conclude with a firm belief that Africa-India collaboration will get stronger in the days to come. Indian Ocean might separate us geographically, but partnership and collaboration will be the modern bridge between the two ancient civilizations, with the bank being the strongest pillar. I urge you all to join this partnership.